Good morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is English Bulletin with me, Yutsa Bhattrai. The top stories first. Prime Minister Oli reshuffles cabinet. Vishnu Paudel appointed as a new finance minister. Active cases of coronavirus in the country surged above 36,000. Kathmandu Valley registered 1,400 new cases. World economy to shrink by 4.4% in 2020. IMF says pandemic will reserve the progress made since 1990s. European nations revive curfews and lockdowns, express concerns amid exponential growth of virus. And Delhi Capitals climb to the top of IPL T20 tournament. Rajasthan Royals dealt a fourth loss in 5 matches. Sharma Oli has reshuffled the government, appointing some new faces in the Council of Ministers. Prime Minister Oli has appointed NCP General Secretary Vishnu Paudel to the post of Finance Minister, which was lying vacant since the departure of former Finance Minister Yuvraj Khatiyora. Likewise, Parvat Gurung has been appointed as Minister for Communication and Information Technology and Krishna Gopal Shrestha as Minister for Urban Development. Similarly, Leelanath Shrestha has got the portfolio of Women, Children and Senior Citizen Ministry. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Defence Ishwar Pokhrel has been handed the responsibilities of Deputy Prime Minister as well as Prime Minister's office. All other ministers have retained their positions. The President's office said in a statement yesterday that the President has appointed new ministers, reshuffled the cabinet and has also made a new arrangement for work division upon the recommendation of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has held a meeting with Executive Chairman of the ruling Nepal Communist Party for around 2.5 hours before reshuffling the cabinet. The newly appointed ministers will take oath of office and secrecy at the President's office at 11 a.m. today morning. Meanwhile, main opposition party Nepali Congress has concluded that China has encroached Nepal's territory in Humla. The opposition has also demanded for an official statement from the government side regarding the matter. Nepali Congress has based its argument on a field study report prepared by an NC team. The team was led by Congress Central member Jeevan Bahadur Shahi. The government was quick to comment without a proper analysis of the matter, the opposition has alleged. China has installed barbed fences near pillar number 12, built other physical infrastructures, and the pillar has been constructed only recently, informed NC spokesperson Bishwa Prakash Sharma.
कि कूटनीतिको प्रश्नमा आवेगमा बोल्नुहुन्न, वस्तुगत भएर बोल्नुपर्छ। तर सरकारले हिजो हतारमा सीमा मिचिएको छैन भन्यो, त्यो भनिएको बारेमा पनि हाम्रो प्रश्न छ र अहिले सरकार मौन भएको छ यसबारेमा पनि प्रश्न छ। र प्रतिपक्षी नेता जीवनबहादुर साई लगायतको टोलीले 11 दिन लगाएर गरेको अध्ययनको प्रतिवेदनको जगमा हामी भन्छौं कि हुम्लामा रहेको नेपाल चीन सीमामा नामखाको लिमीमा सीमा मिचिएको छ। चीनले संरचना चाहिँ 2 किलोमिटर ओर निर्माण गरेको छ।
The government should immediately address the issue and create a high-level committee capable of negotiating with China and bringing the encroached lands back, Congress has said. NC team led by leader Shahi discovered that physical infrastructures were built by China at Namkha rural municipality and which falls inside the Nepali territory. Shahi-led team inspected the Nepal-China border in Humla for 11 days to come to this conclusion, spokesperson Sharma added. The Central Working Committee's meeting of Nepali Congress has been put off until after Dasai Tihar festival. The meeting had been postponed twice earlier. Spokesperson of the Congress party, Bishwa Prakash Sharma, informed that with coronavirus spreading rapidly amongst the members of the Congress party, congregation of a large number of people has to be avoided. He also informed that the discussion on finalizing the date of the meeting is underway, with a potential date considered after the Dasai festival. However, the meeting will only be held after PCR test of all the members. The meeting of the working committee has been called to discuss on the major issues of holding the Congress General Convention.
संवादहरुमा यसलाई कुन रूपमा चाहिँ बैठकलाई आयोजना गर्ने भन्ने सन्दर्भमा पार्टी केन्द्रीय कार्यालयबाट हामी सहभागी रह्यौं। त अहिले परिस्थिति कस्तो बन्यो भन्दाखेरि भने चाहिँ कोरोनाको एक कालको प्रतिकूलता, त्यसपछि पर्याप्त समय हामीले बहस गर्न नपाइरहेको अवस्था, यो कारणले गर्दै गर्दा केन्द्रीय कार्य समितिको बैठक दशैं अगाडि नहुने भन्ने चाहिँ अब निश्चितै भयो। अब कहिले बस्छ त भन्ने कुरामा चाहिँ हाम्रा सामुन्ने चाहिँ दुईटा विकल्पको सम्भावना छ। बढी सम्भावना चाहिँ पहिलो विकल्पमै छ।
Another agenda for the meeting is to discuss on the written discontent set by leader Ramchandra Paudel to the party. To the party spokesperson, Sharma informed that the meeting will discuss on the work plan to hold the Geneva Convention on 19th February and discussion on any contingency plan if the meeting cannot take place on the same date. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back. We continue with other national news. The government has confirmed 2,638 new cases of coronavirus across the country during the latest round of tests. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, Kathmandu Valley alone reported 1,403 new cases. Within the valley, 996 cases were reported in Kathmandu district, followed by 305 in Lalitpur and 102 in Bhaktapur. The total caseload of coronavirus in the country has now climbed to 117,996, while the number of active cases is 36,367. Meanwhile, the death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 675 across the country. The ministry yesterday confirmed the deaths of 12 more people due to coronavirus. So far, 80,954 persons have recovered from the disease in Nepal. Nepal is currently among the top 38 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. In other news, the government has decided to provide a free treatment for the people who have COVID-19 insurance. Only single women, needy and differently able persons will get government support for free PCR test. The cost of the test for others will be managed from the insurance, informed the spokesperson at the Health Ministry, Dr. Jageshwar Gautam. Senior citizens, frontline workers that include health officials, security personnel, waste collector and other employees working at risk areas will only receive a free test upon displaying symptoms, spokesperson Gautam further added. Government has directed the Federation of Nepal Cable Television Entrepreneur and other associated broadcasting companies to start advertisement of a free broadcast from 23rd of October. In a press release issued on Wednesday, the Ministry of Information and Communication directed the start of advertisement-free broadcasting from 23rd of October. The ministry has also warned that actions will be taken against any agency disobeying the directive. Indian Broadcasters Forum, Discovery Networks, BBC News, Federation of Nepal Cable Television Entrepreneurs had earlier asked for a deadline extension on the clean feed, but the ministry has informed that the extension cannot be allowed as the Clean Feed Act doesn't have the provision for extension. The ministry further added that the Act itself had a clear provision of an extension of 1 year which cannot be extended and therefore the deadline is final. And now the news from Economic Front. The International Monetary Fund has forecast a decline in global economic growth by 4.4% in its latest World Economic Outlook report. The IMF, however, acknowledged that the global economy is climbing out from the depths to which it had plummeted during the Great Lockdown in April, but with the COVID-19 pandemic continuing to spread, many countries have slowed reopening and some are reinstating partial lockdowns to protect susceptible populations, IMF said in the report published on its website. The report further states that the level of global GDP in 2021 is expected to be a modest 0.6% above that of 2019, following the contraction of 2020 and a recovery in 2021. IMF further said that the growth projections imply wide negative output gaps and elevated unemployment rates this year and in 2021 across both advanced and emerging market economies. While the global economy is coming back, the ascent will be long, uneven and uncertain, Geeta Gopinath, the IMF's chief economist, wrote in the New Outlook. Recovery is not assured while the pandemic continues to spread. The report says the pandemic will reverse the progress made since 1990s in reducing global poverty and will increase inequality. We'll be taking a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international and sports news. Welcome back, and now the international news. France imposed curfews while other European nations are closing schools, cancelling surgeries and enlisting student medics as overwhelmed authorities face the nightmare scenario of a COVID-19 resurgence at the onset of winter. With new cases hitting about 100,000 daily, Europe has by a wide margin overtaken the United States, where more than 51,000 COVID-19 infections are reported on average every day, Reuters reported. As cases in France climbed rapidly, President Emmanuel Macron announced night curfews for 4 weeks from Saturday in Paris and other major cities, affecting almost one-third of the country's 67 million people. Macron said in an interview on national television that the curfews were to halt temporarily the parties, the gatherings of people, festive evenings, because unfortunately these are vectors for the acceleration of the disease. Most European governments eased lockdowns over the summer to start reviving economies already battered by the first wave of coronavirus pandemic. But the return of normal activity from packed restaurants to new university terms fueled a sharp spike in cases all over the continent. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said that she and leaders of Germany's 16 states agreed on Wednesday on tougher measures without detailing them. The World Health Organization has warned against any complacency in the coronavirus death rate, saying with the increasing numbers of cases and mortality would also rise. According to Reuters, new cases are hitting 100,000 daily in Europe. Nearly 20,000 infections were reported in Britain, while Italy, Switzerland and Russia were among nations with record case numbers. While deaths globally have fallen to around 5,000 per day from April's peak exceeding 7,500, WHO Chief Scientist Soumya Swaminath said caseloads were rising in intensive care units. Mortality increases always lag behind increasing cases by a couple of weeks, Swaminath said during a WHO social media event. We shouldn't be complacent that death rates are coming down. More than 38 million people have been reported infected globally and 1.1 million have died. Despite the global push for a COVID-19 vaccine with dozens in clinical trials and hopes for initial inoculations this year, Swaminath reiterated that speedy mass shots were unlikely. Barron Trump, the 14-year-old son of US President Donald Trump, had been infected with COVID-19 but has since tested negative, BBC quoted First Lady Melania Trump as saying. BBC has cited Melania Trump, who said her fears came true when Barron tested positive for COVID-19. Luckily, Barron is a strong teenager and exhibited no symptoms, the First Lady added. Both the President and the First Lady tested positive for coronavirus on October 8 last week, but have now tested negative. Many other White House staffers have also tested positive since then. I don't even think he even knew he had it because they're young and their immune systems are strong and they fight it off, BBC quoted President Trump as saying on Wednesday. President Trump added, Barron is beautiful and he is free. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Delhi Capitals climbed to the top of the IPL table as they defeated Rajasthan Royals by 13 runs. The team from Delhi won the toss and decided to bat first at the Dubai International Stadium. Shikhar Dhawan and captain Shreyas Iyer stabilised the innings after the loss of 2 quick wickets. Both scored 50s before getting out in quick succession as Delhi could only post 161 runs in their allotted 20 overs with the loss of 7 wickets for Royals. English paceman Jofra Archer impressed with 3 wickets in the 4 overs, conceding only 19 runs in the process. In reply, Royals got off to a decent start with Josh Butler's quick-fire 22 off 9 deliveries. Ben Stokes scored 41 from 35 deliveries. Sanju Samson and Robin Uthappa both tried to stabilise the innings, but man of the match Anik Nordze's 2 quick wickets stopped the Royals from even mounting a decent challenge. The Royals fell short by 13 runs as they slumped to their 4th defeat in 5 games. Today, Royal Challengers Bangalore take on bottom side Kings 11 Punjab. England suffered a 1-0 defeat at home to Denmark while Belgium won 2-1 against Iceland in the UEFA Nations League tournament. Inter Milan forward Romeo Lukaku scored 2 goals for the Belgium side as they climbed to the top of Group A2 as they defeated Iceland. England lost to Denmark at Wembley by a solitary Christian Eriksen goal. Manchester United captain Harry Maguire and Chelsea's young startlet Reece James both received a red card in national duty. In other matches, Liverpool's recent acquisition Diego Jota scored 2 and made 1 goal for Portugal as they defeated Sweden at home by 3-0. The win takes them to the top of the Group A3 table on the goal difference ahead of France. The French side produced a strong performance as they beat Croatia by 2-1. Antonio Griezmann and Kylian Mbappe both scored for the French side. The Nations League tournament consists of 55 teams put together in 14 different groups. Only the winner of each group gets to play the Nations League final next year. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Prime Minister Oli reshuffles cabinet, Vishnu Paudel appointed as new finance minister. Active cases of coronavirus in the country surges above 36,000. Kathmandu Valley registered 1,400 new cases. World economy to shrink by 4.4% in 2020. IMF says pandemic will reverse the progress made since 1990s. European nations revive curfews and lockdowns, express concerns amidst exponential growth of virus. And Delhi Capitals climb to the top of the IPL T20 tournament. Rajasthan Royals dealt 4th loss in 5 matches. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website at janatasamachar.com. We urge all our viewers to take precautions against coronavirus. Keep washing your hands. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.